Michael Cretu is a Romanian Euro-German musician. He is also known as Curly M.C. or Curly M.C. because of his fair curled hair. His best-known work is with the Enigma project. He has collaborated with many musicians along his career, including his ex-wife Sandra Lauer, musician Peter Cornelius, guitarists Manfred Thiers and Jens Gad, Frank Peterson, David Fairstein, DJ André Tanneberger, Peter Ries, Bernt Moehrle, singer Ruth-Ann Boyle, and Andru Donalds, who produced the single Mishale in 1995. In 2002, Crocodile Music, Cretu's management company, stated that 100 million Cretu-produced records had been sold worldwide. By the year 2008, Michael Cretu's Enigma project has sold over 50 million studio albums according to his official site. He owned ART Studios, a recording studio facility located at his former home on the Balearic Islands, where he lived with his wife and their two teenagers, Nikita and Sebastian. He and Sandra divorced in 2007. Cretu has been reported as living in Germany since that time. Background: Cretu was born to a Romanian father and an Austrian mother in Bucharest. His uncle, Ion Voicu, a Romanian violin player and former director of the Bucharest Philharmonic, told Michael's parents that he had talent in music and as such, he studied classical music at l'École NR2 in Bucharest in 1965 and in Paris, France, in 1968. He later attended the Academy of Music in Frankfurt, Germany, from 1975 to 1978, attaining a degree in music. Cretu was taken on as a keyboard player and producer for Frank Farian. In the 1980s, Cretu took over production for the pop quartet Hubert Carr and started writing songs with the band leader Hubert Kemmler, achieving a number of hits. Among his other work, Cretu was also one of the producers of Mike Oldfield's 1987 album Islands and the producer of Peter Schilling's 1989 The Different Story album. In 1992 Cretu worked with Peter Cornelius on Return to Innocence, to provide the guitar riffs. For the third album, Cretu teamed up with Jens Gad to work together on Le Roi Estate Mort, Vive Le Roi, and launched in 1999 a new trance project Transatlantic Airwaves and the album The Energy of Sound. Another band of Cretu's was called Moti Special, which Cretu produced and performed with in the mid-1980s. He owned the ART Studios in Ibiza before moving to a new mansion in the Ibiza Hills. His new house, near Sant Antoni de Portmany on the western coast of Ibiza, is a Moroccan-style mansion that was designed and built by Ben Steber and Gunter Wagner in more than 9 years. It also featured a brand new, state-of-the-art recording studio. The Spanish High Court deemed the house to have been built illegally and in infringement of Spanish environmental regulations, which led to the A18 million villa being razed in May 2009. Cretu as a solo artist. Cretu's first solo release was the single Wild River in 1978. His first solo album was released in 1979, entitled Moon, Light and Flowers. Cretu's second solo album, titled Legioner Currency Re, was released in 1983. It featured German-language lyrics and was sung by Michael. It was co-produced and supervised by Harold Steinhauer and mastered by Armand Voka. Cretu's third solo album was titled Die Chinesische Mauer and was released in 1985. The literal English translation is The Chinese Wall. It had, like its predecessor, German-language lyrics, was sung by Michael and co-produced by Armand Voka and Michael Cretu. This album was also released as a separate album with English-language lyrics and a different track listing under the name The Invisible Man. Several of the tracks on The Invisible Man were edited slightly and, therefore, had different lengths than the German-language versions on Die Chinesische Mauer. This featured the song Samurai, which became a hit. The Enigma project. After Cretu's marriage to Sandra in 1988, he had an idea for a musical New Age dance project under the name of Enigma, presented by Fairstein. Cretu worked with Frank Peterson and David Fairstein to create their groundbreaking first single Sadness, which became a surprise hit. MCMXCA. The album, which was released in 1990, was hugely successful. The second album, The Cross of Changes, was released in 1993. Prior to this, Frank Peterson had some disagreements with Cretu and he left the project in 1991. Cretu changed Enigma's direction from Gregorian chants to tribal chants for its second album, and this led to the single Return to Innocence with Peter Cornelius, which became a worldwide hit. Cretu was approached by Paramount Pictures to write the soundtrack of the movie Sliver, and he came up with another 1993 single Cully's song after the main female character's name. In 1996 Enigma's third album Le Roi est mort, Vive le Roi was released. Stylistically, it sounded like a combination of the first and second albums, but it failed to achieve the same level of success. In 1999 Cretu steered the project in another direction by using samples of Carl Orff's Carmina Burana for the fourth album The Screen Behind the Mirror, released in 2000. Andru Donalds and Ruth-Ann Boyle first appeared as features on this Enigma project. Although Jens Gad had been working with Cretu on the earlier albums, this was the first time that he had been given actual credits. Deciding that the first chapter for Enigma was closed under the Virgin Records label, Cretu releases a set of compilations, Love Sensuality Devotion, The Greatest Hits and Love Sensuality Devotion, the remix collection that include credits to ATB. He had continued the Enigma project, and in 2003 he came up with Voyager album. Familiar sounds of the shakuhachi flute, tribal, or Gregorian chants were replaced with more commercially friendly tunes and beat. In March 2006, a new single called Hello and Welcome was released in anticipation of another album. A Posteriori is the sixth Enigma studio album. It was released on September 22, 2006. Seven Lives Many Faces became the seventh Enigma studio album. It was released on September 19, 2008. Discography Solo albums 1979 A Euro Moon, Light and Flowers, 1983 A Euro Legioner Currency Re, 1985 A Euro Die Chinesische Mauer. Solo singles 1978 A Euro Shadows Over My Head, 1978 A Euro Wild River, 1980 A Euro Moonlight Flower a very big hit in the Philippines, 1980 A Euro Love Me a very big hit in the Philippines, 1983 A Euro Total Normal, 1983 A Euro Zeitless Rays, 1983 A Euro Der Planet der Verlorenen Zeit, 1983 A Euro Today, 1984 A Euro Schwarzer Engel, 1985 A Euro Carte Blanche, 1985 A Euro Die Chinesische Mauer, 1985 A Euro Samurai, 1985 A Euro Samurai, number 3 Austria, number 2 Switzerland, number 4 Sweden, number 1 Greece, number 4 Italy, number 12 Germany, 1985 A Euro Silver Water, 1986 A Euro Gambit, 1987 A Euro Schools Out, 1987 A Euro, When Love is the Missing Word, 1988 A Euro Don't Say You Love Me, 1988 A Euro Captain Right, 1992 A Euro Rechnungsrichtsterben aus, 1992 A Euro Nur die Hoffnung nicht, Cretu and Peter Cornelius. Collaborations/productions 1980 A Euro Topa, 1981 A Euro Peter Ken Happy Weekend, 1982 A Euro Severine, 1983 A Euro Myra Matthew. Ian A. Morgan, 1983 A Euro Mary and Gordy, 1983 A Euro Peter Cornelius. Fata Morgana, 1984 A Euro Hubert Carr. Goldene Zeiten, 1986 A Euro Hubert Carr. 10 Songs, 1985 A Euro Moti Special, Motivation, 1987 A Euro Mike Oldfield, Islands, 1987 A Euro Inca and Hamilton, Dancing into Danger, 1987 A Euro Cretu and Thiers, Schools Out, 1988 A Euro Cretu and Thiers, Bellybook, 1989 A Euro Hubert Carr. Sound of My Heart, 1989 A Euro Peter Schilling. The Different Story, 1992 A Euro Peter Cornelius and Cretu, Peter Cornelius and Cretu, 1993 A Euro Maggie Riley. Midnight Sun, 1998 A Euro Transatlantic Airwaves Project the Energy of Sound, 1999 A Euro Andru Donalds. Snowin' Under My Skin, 2001 A Euro Andru Donalds. Let's Talk About It, 2007 Ruth-Ann Boyle. What About Us? Sandra Michael Cretu worked as writer, producer and background vocalist for Sandra's albums, 1985 The Long Play, number 12 Germany, number 8 Norway, number 2 Sweden, number 18 Austria, number 4 Switzerland, 1986, Mirrors, number 16 Germany, number 14 Norway, number 40 Sweden, number 13 Switzerland, 1987, 10 on 1, number 19 Germany, number 28 Austria, number 14 Switzerland, 1988, Into a Secret Land, number 14 Germany, number 18 Norway, number 22 Sweden, number 13 Austria, number 9 Switzerland, 1988, Everlasting Love, 1990, Paintings in Yellow, number 4 Germany, number 30 Sweden, number 14 Austria, number 8 Switzerland, 1992, Close to 7, number 7 Germany, number 20 Norway, number 27 Sweden, number 26 Austria, number 13 Switzerland, 1992, 18 Greatest Hits, number 10 Germany, number 7 France, number 36 Sweden, number 27 Switzerland, number 1 Finland, 1995, Fading Shades, number 42 Germany, number 37 Switzerland, 1999, My Favorites, number 16 Germany, number 15 Norway, number 43 Switzerland, 2002, The Wheel of Time, number 8 Germany, number 63 Austria, number 68 Switzerland. See also, Sandra, singer and wife. Enigma Music Project. Moti Special, Transatlantic Airwaves New Age, or Trance Music Project. References. External links, the official Enigma website, Michael Cretu at the Internet Movie Database, Michael Cretu at AllMusic, Michael Cretu discography at Discogs.